Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all could be with us. Going to bring in our friends over on Instagram as well so they can be a part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. I'm so excited about this next guest. I was just saying to him, we've had some great interviews for our radio show, Conversations Live. But for the very first time, we have EvanCarmichael joining us on Amazon Live. So I want you to say hello to you guys on the Amazon platform. You'll notice Evan's books either on the side of our screen or beneath us. We're going to talk to Evan not only about what it's been like for him to live by his one word, believe, but also what it's been like for him to show his belief in entrepreneurs and individuals and helping them in life. If you guys are not staying connected with Evan, we'll let you know how to do that. But Evan, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Well, let's go, Cyrus. Yeah, when I think I misheard you at the beginning. You said this is our first interview together. Like, no, it's not.
Right.
It can't be. There's no way that's true. But this is our first video. No, that's great. I love it. I love video. I love that you're in the video world now. This is fantastic, man, and honored to do this.
Well, look, I'm honored to have you. I have your book, One Word, here, your one word with us, Evan. I also have my book, The Top 10 Rules for Success, with me here. Also have my book, Momentum, here with me too in person. So for you, Evan, you have been able to make a name for yourself, not only in being able to work with entrepreneurs, but to be able to help them to be able to grow. What has that experience been like for you to not only to discover your own one word, but to help other people in fulfilling their own one word?
I think that's what everybody wants to do. It's like everybody wants to wake up and feel like they're going to do something today that matters. That's going to have an impact on somebody. I think if you woke up and felt like today is going to matter to at least one person, that's a path to fulfillment and happiness and deep purpose. And if you woke up every day and felt like today doesn't matter and nobody cares, that's a path to depression and anxiety and suicide and all sorts of problems. We all want to feel like the actions we're doing every day means something to somebody. And so I think your purpose comes from your pain. I struggled so much as an entrepreneur, and to be able to help other entrepreneurs is fantastic. I mean, you get it too, but how many interviews have you done now? How many interviews, Cyrus?
Yeah, 13,000.
That's crazy. 13,000?
Yeah.
That is crazy, right? And I'm sure over the years you've gotten so much better, and the feeling that you're helping expose new authors and new ideas to your community, to the world, all these platforms. That's what makes it go. Like, we all want to feel like we're going to do something today that means something to somebody else. So that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. Evan, it was through your book, Your One Word, that you really led us into what you just said. You know, when you just mentioned about your purpose coming from your pain. Did you know when you were writing that book that you weren't just going to be talking about the power of your one word, but also as to what makes you the person you are today?
Did I know that as I was writing the book?
You're right.
As I was writing the book, yes. So initially, that book was not going to be your one word. It's going to be something else. So my agent and he was convinced I needed a book. And like, Steve, I don't want a book. I don't need a book. I have a YouTube channel. It opens up doors. Like, you don't need that. Books are great, but you don't need to have a book. He's like, no. You got to have a book. Okay, fine. We'll do a book. And we were going through the proposal process of the book, and I just wasn't super connected to any of these ideas. And then halfway through that, I was in the process of figuring out my one word, and thought, man, this would be so cool if I actually did a book around this, and it actually felt better as a book than a series of videos. Like, Steve, we gotta change this. It's going to be about your one word. And to his credit, he's like, okay, like we'll make that shift. And then that was the one that we pitched. That one was with Penguin Random House. So when I started writing that book, then I knew what the goal of the book was and what the stories were going to be. But initially, when I was pitching having a book deal, it was a completely different concept, and I wasn't super tied to it. So I think a good book comes out quickly because you've already done the work yourself, and then you've already helped other people through the process. And so I was figuring out my one word, and then I was helping other people through their one word. And then the back half of that book is also sharing examples of different people who've built businesses off of their one word, from, I think the smallest is like a $50,000 business up until like millions of dollars of business, and how they use their one word to filter all their decisions. So no matter where you are on your entrepreneurial journey, there's somebody that you can connect with at the similar size as you. And once I got that concept crystallized in my mind, it's like, okay, this is what we're doing, and got down to write the book.
And what you just mentioned, Evan, I think, and I appreciate you guys joining us over there on YouTube. What you just mentioned, I think, is so much of what you are known for. You're known as, I mean, I discovered you on YouTube, right, through the top 10 and being able to see these great things from individuals. And yet now it's like with Evan Carmichael, we have gotten just as interested in you. I know I have, because of, for one, your longevity. Also, the fact that you have been so passionate and so consistent in what you do, for sure. The interest in yourself, has that surprised you as much as people are interested in the work that you do?
Well, I don't usually meet people who are more consistent than I am. So kudos to you for 13,000 interviews, man. That's you're the OG in this space too, which is fantastic. I never wanted to tell my story. I'm an introvert, man. This was not part of the plan. I didn't think people want to interview me. Like me, I'm talking about Steve Jobs and giant entrepreneurs. What have I done? Like, why do you care about me? Right. But then people kept asking questions. And so to your point about the top 10 rules videos, for those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel, and one of the series that we've created over the past number of years is we'll find a famous, usually entrepreneur, but doesn't have to be, and break down their roots of success. So you can go learn from Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Oprah or whoever. For years, the number one request was me. Can you do an Evan Carmichael top 10 rules? Mm-hmm. It's like, why me? I'm profiling. I've done nothing compared to, not to put myself down, but compared to Steve Jobs. Like, you'll learn way more from Steve Jobs than from me. And I always said, no, I don't want to do it. Like, it feels weird. I don't want to do it. And then one year on my birthday, my team conspired to make a video of my top 10 rules and put it on my channel on my birthday without me knowing. I thought a different video was going up, and I wasn't super paying attention because it was my birthday. We had other plans. So they surprised me and put it up. And then people loved it. And then from there, okay, well, I guess I'll share more of the story. And then been on interviews and podcasts. And I honestly do better when people ask questions. I don't think my story is that interesting, but then people ask a question and I have an answer, and I hope it helps a few people.
And Evan, I think people like you who do inspire many people, as you have with me, and I know countless others around the world, I know people you've worked with, people who've been able to benefit from your content that you put out on social media and others. I think we look at you, for one, and so that's why I think it's such an interesting connection in this conversation about what you put in your one word, because as you mentioned, whether people are someone who has a small business or has a larger business or wants something bigger, you've been able to put out things that kind of connect us where we are. The thing that stands out to me the most that I bring up all the time about you, Evan, is when you were on tour and you were injured and you kept going and you documented that process. Not everybody would have done that. And especially as you just mentioned, being an introvert, as I am myself as well, so I can connect with you on that. I mean, that to me is not always easy. What has helped you to get out of your own way? Because I think for a lot of people, that's the thing for them. They think, well, people won't care about me, or my story doesn't matter, or what I do doesn't matter. What has helped you not to get in your own way?
Well, I think I'm still in my own way. Okay. I don't know that goes away. I think for all of us, our biggest problem is still ourselves. So I don't have the complete answer to that, but things that have helped me over the years. One is people in my life. So Steve was a big put. Even Steve pushing me to write a book. I didn't want to write a book. I'm like, Steve, I don't want to write this book. This does not make sense. But it was in that process, I then decided to write your one word. Mm-hmm. If he didn't kickstart that process, I probably wouldn't have written anything.
Right.
So the push, right? And I've had mentors and people in my life who've pushed me to do things that I didn't want to do. Even the interviews that you've asked me to be on, it's not that I didn't want to do them because I love you. Just every day on Thursdays when I do these interviews, my heart like races. I don't want to do them. I look at my calendar and like, can I be sick today? Can I cancel everybody? I just don't want. I like the introvert in me takes over, and I'd much rather just stay inside and work and not not talk to people, but that's actually cheating my vision and cheating my mission and like cheating the service that I can create. So I'm grateful for people like you reaching out and asking, because then when I commit, I may not show up for myself, but I'll show up for you. Like I'm not going to ghost you at this time because I said I was going to be here for Cyrus. And it's easy when it's a couple of weeks before, right? Like, yeah, in 2 weeks, yeah, no problem. And then day of, like, oh my God, I don't want to do all those interviews, right? So having people kind of push you and hold you accountable has been one. And the other is I get a lot from virtual mentors. It's like the videos I make on my channel are for me. So even today was a great example. Today I woke up and I had a huge migraine yesterday. I haven't had one in a long time. And I really struggled to sleep. I had 4 hours something sleep. And it's raining here in Toronto. It's just not a great start to the day. And I look at my calendar and it's full of all these interviews and presentations. Like I really don't want to do any of this stuff. And I go for my morning walk. I call it my Believe walk, and put on a video. And I'm listening. It was Elon Musk today. And just in seeing somebody more successful than you, it makes me want to do something. It makes me want to attack the day instead of, I don't know, being lazy. Like I could have mailed in today. If I said, hey, Cyrus, dude, I had 4 hours sleep. I'm super, sick. I had a headache. Can we reschedule? You'd be like, no problem, man. Happy to reschedule. Right. Like you're a very gracious person. But like I'm letting myself down. And so that might have been what I did today if I didn't go for my walk. And like that's my daily thing, my Believe walk, and put on a famous entrepreneur in my head because they push me to want to do more and to show up when I may not normally show up. And so I call them aspirational mentors. We have our regular mentors in our lives and humans, that and are holding you accountable and inviting you to things and pushing you to do things. And then the aspirational mentors who've done a lot more than us, who at least for me, when I watch their story, it makes me just want to do more. It makes me want to stop listening to my own excuses and show up in a bigger way. And the key thing for me is that like that has to be daily, because this is great. I feel great now. I'm not noticing the bad sleep or the migraine yesterday and the rain. This is great. But then I'm going to wake up tomorrow and Cyrus isn't going to be there. And so I need to figure out my new thing is right. And so no matter how great a day I have today, it's like I'm starting over every day. And so I just expect that. And so I have to put that inspiration, that wisdom into my morning routine so that I have it all day, every day.
Right. And that's what we appreciate so much about you. I'm going to highlight for our Amazon audience, Evan, the book Built to Serve, because that's another one of my favorite ones of yours. And it goes to a big part of how you live your life. And what I think a lot of us are realizing now is the real key to success, because you have really tied success to service. A lot of times we feel like it's all about us, right? What we can get, especially as entrepreneurs, we're all about buy my thing, get my thing. You have really shown us by example, but also through books like that, the connection to service. What has that been like for you to show that connection to others, Evan, and to see them make the connection?
I think people know, because when it's the kind of thing that when you talk about it, they feel it. They're just not doing it. Yeah. And it's actually a reminder to what feels right. Like when people feel lost, or they're doing a job just for money, or they start a business just for money, they end up getting lost and it doesn't feel right. And they don't know what to do. And so when it comes back to, well, like, what do you love and who do you want to help and serve? You see their eyes light up again. It's like, well, that should be your business. Like, how do you get to do 13,000 interviews if you don't like talking to people, right? Like, there's no way. You're such a curious person. You take the time to research somebody's stories and you ask questions that they've never been asked before. And you deeply care about the person who's coming on. And that is what allows you to continue to go, because somebody who's doing, I'm going to start an interview podcast. Great. A lot of them will just quit 3 episodes in, or before they even do their first episode, because they just don't like interviewing people and talking to people. And when you default to service over any selfish goal, it just gives you more strength to do it. I was talking to a lawyer today, and he specializes in helping people fight against insurance scams. and he was looking at his videos, and he had all these, concerns that he's, too boring, and it's, he's not entertaining enough, and he watches his videos back, and he doesn't like how he sounds or looks, and, he's being hard on himself. It's like, hey, the content that you're making, man, like that could be life-changing money for somebody. Somebody's getting scammed by their insurance company. That is life-changing for them, and they feel hopeless, and you're giving them hope, and like you're concerned that you're like too boring or not entertaining enough. Like all of our concerns go away when we can think about who we're going to serve and how we're going to help. Like you're not going to make a video because you have a pimple on your nose. Well, maybe that video is going to change somebody's life today. All of a sudden, like the pimple doesn't become the biggest priority in your life anymore. And so just it enables us to do more. And it feels right, and it feels better when you can think about who you're trying to serve and who you're trying to help with anything. You're not just making content, anything that you do in life. When you can connect it to service, we are wired to serve. Like you want to help, you want to feel valuable. You don't want, like nobody feels good ripping somebody off. It's wrong. You don't feel good about it. People still do it. People steal, but like you don't feel good about it. And so when I'm talking about service, I've never had somebody say, oh, like that feels completely weird. I've never heard of that. Like people know,
right?
But they just don't know how to turn it into business, or they think that it has to be, you have to screw somebody over to make money, where like it's the complete opposite. And so I think it's more just reminding people versus introducing into some crazy concept they've never heard of before.
Love that. It's a great reminder for us, Evan. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents on Amazon Live, but we are simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. EvanCarmichael is our guest. You guys know him as a successful entrepreneur and coach, but also a best-selling author as well. We're talking with him about how he has been able to impact the lives of so many through his books, his YouTube channel, and also the work he's able to do. Last thing I want to ask you about, Evan, and I'm going to highlight for our audience this book, The Top 10 Rules for Success. And I'm someone like you. I love to be motivated by others. And I love the fact that you were able to take something like your YouTube channel and kind of bring it to us nerds that carry on books all the time and give it the book that I could take with me to the airport. I want to talk about the idea of success, because I think one thing I've learned over the years and doing my radio show in particular is that success is so relative for people. Has your idea of success for yourself, Evan, has it changed?
I don't usually get too caught up in definitions.
Okay.
But if I think about success, I want to feel like I'm doing something that matters every day. And I think that's what most people want. And for you and I, we want to have a big impact. We want to serve a lot of people. For people like my wife, she wants to serve the 20 closest people to her. Like she's not an entrepreneur, but she spent the day, with her mom today, right? It's like making sure that her mom feels loved and taken care of and special, right? I probably need to spend more time with my mom. Right? So it's like, but we all want to serve. We all want to feel like today is going to matter to somebody. And if you're doing that, you'll consider yourself pretty successful. Because if you're making things only for yourself, it's a pretty hollow existence.
Yeah. And I also want to say, Evan, about you, one thing that's been consistent is your optimism and also belief in others. Of course, with your one word being believe. I guess that makes perfect sense. But you're someone who definitely believes in others and believes in the good in others. And that definitely makes a difference. I want to remind our audience that they can be able to stay connected with you, of course, through your website at EvanCarmichael.com. Make sure also you guys are following him on social. We're going to make sure he's tagged all over the place. Evan, I appreciate you taking out this time. It means a lot to me to have you on, to be able to see you this time and having our conversation. And I look forward to speak with you again, man.
Let's go, man. I'm glad you're doing it on video. Can't wait to see your YouTube now start to blow up too. Let's go.
I appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.